Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Bakaha Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The 144,000 and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen that look like the heathen. This is not a black thing. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with a quick lesson. And, I've been a little under the weather, had some sort of stomach virus. It was like a 48-hour thing. Kind of really put me down for a couple of days. I just kept soldiering. Didn't really complain about it. I just endured it. Feeling a lot better now, but I was kind of in a funk there in the spirit, but the water for all my fellow laborers, I was just watching the brothers' videos and getting fed their spiritual food from my fellow laborers, and that's what kept me going. But here, I'm back on now, so here we go. A couple videos I saw yesterday, and this was one of them, and that shameful experience. As a matter of fact, let's get that. It's in Habakkuk. Because, BB's being looked at as a joke and as a criminal. Definitely being looked at as a criminal because what he's doing is criminal, and the whole world sees them for what they are. The world population is not feeling this whole, we're the victim, screaming anti-semantics every time they get caught. You ask them about something that's going on right now, about something that they're doing, and they start talking about their great grandma in the Holocaust. It's like, huh? What's they got to do with genocide that's going on today? It's insane. But deflection and controlling the narrative, and they're losing the control. And personally, it's very exciting to see. That the rest of the world is beginning to see what we've been saying all along. Man, I gotta get rid of this phone. My phone is jacked. But this is Habakkuk 2 and 16. And I'm going to start at 15. And it reads, Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and makest him drunk, also that thou mayest look upon his nakedness. So one of those drink is this whole, anti-Semitic thing. And them claiming that they're the people of the Lord. Because see, you got a problem. I've been pointing out for years to some of the other men of the Lord that, there's this unseen battle between Edomites, because you have the Amalekites saying that the Christians are the Edomites, and then you got some Edomites saying that that the JOOs are the Edomites, because you can't both be Anglo-Saxons. Because one is saying that they're the Anglo-Saxon, the other one is saying that they're the JOOs. Do you see the conflict there? And then their doctrines are completely and totally against each other, because the JOOs, they hate who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Some of the most blasphemous things are written in their holy book, in the Talmud, about him and his mother. Called his mother a whore, and she was sleeping around, and it's just all manner of things that's written in the Talmud about who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. But yet, because of that complexion, that's how you know it's a racist thing and a complexion thing. Because because Jimmy Dore, I'm pretty sure, the comedian here, who's red, just like it describes Edom, he's no fan of Benjamin Netanyahu at all. All right, and they believe certain different things. All right, and they're not together at all. But yet, many people like Jimmy will call his people, BB's people, the Edomites, and then you got to remember, then the rabbis are referring to white Christians as the Edomites. So this truly is a house divided, and a house divided, as it tells you in the book of Mark and other places, Mark 3 and 23, like through verses 25. Matter of fact, I'll just get it. But let me finish this though. This verse. It says Habakkuk 2 now in 16. And thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be upon thy glory. And that's exactly what's happening. All right, and the Lord is going to the right hand of the Lord is Yahweh Shai. All right, because there's a video that I'm going to show in here that's right now. You got the Chinese army surrounding Taiwan and all the islands, and I think they call it Operation Double Sword or something like that. And basically, and they just outright said this is a drill that's being done to show how easy it will be to invade and take over them. For being separatists, and Taiwan is in the way of China's dominance over Israel and the rest of the world, because I guess they need Taiwan for a lot of the technology for the electronics and things like that is coming out of Taiwan. And Taiwan is, is trying to link up with America, which is, and the Chinese not having it. It's like, this is our land, our place, and you're not going to be able to do that because they're in the way of that. So there's never going to be any peace when it comes to that whole sort of thing. All right. But what was I going to get? Oh, yeah. Shameful spewing and Mark. With these people fighting amongst each other. Mark 3 and 23. Pointing fingers at each other saying that they're the Edomites. No, you're the Edomite, looking like the Spider-Man meme. All right. And he called unto him, Mark 3 and 23. And he said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And a house divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. So that come to an end because Satan is against each other. All right, you got to remember, you got in the Netherlands, they're looking for his arrest. And in Germany, they're saying that they will arrest Bibi on sight. Netherlands, Spain, and Ireland are basically saying that that this man is a war criminal in his cabinet. Okay, but let's let a little bit of this video play.
War crime. This is in the AP. War crimes prosecutor seeks to arrest of Israeli and Hamas leaders, including Netanyahu. That's the International Criminal Court, right? So here is what Jackson Hinkle tweeted out. Israel's Netanyahu says charging me for crimes in Gaza is like charging George Bush for 9/11.
He should be.
That sounds like a good idea.
Great.
Yeah. Are we going to do that? Because that would be fantastic.
Oh, maybe he means charging for crimes in Gaza like charging Bush 9/11 because I'm also responsible for 9/11.
That's right.
It's unfair.
Well, that would be like revealing the Epstein client list. We can't do that.
Whoa.
Right?
The James Bond of Israel?
So here we go.
He's creating a false symmetry between the democratically elected leaders of Israel and the terrorist chieftains. That's like saying after 9/11, well, I'm issuing arrest warrants for George Bush, but also for bin Laden. Or after in World War II, well, I'm issuing arrest warrants for FDR, but also for Hitler. It's a hit job. It's not serious. He's out to defeat.
And it is not wise to break up 9/11 because everyone knows that buildings don't collapse in their own footprints at this point. And they're still trying to push that lie, that false narrative in the history books, teaching children a complete and total lie. That was a 100% inside job, and everyone knows it at this point. Once again, shameful spewing upon their glory.
Fame Israel, and he's also pouring gasoline on the fires of anti-Semitism that are spreading around the world because he is attacking the.
Could the term anti-Semitism be more discredited? It is going to mean absolutely nothing. It's very close to being absolutely nothing right now.
Pretty much.
Funny that RFK Jr. is still afraid of being called one because it doesn't mean anything. You know what being called an anti-Semitic means? It means you're telling the truth about Israel right now. That's what it means.
Pretty much. It means you're telling the truth about Israel. As simple as that. And then Hold on, let me let him.
It means you're
something.
against slaughtering children. That's what being called an. Oh, I'm an anti. I
Who are
love
also Semites, by the way.
who are also Semites.
All the Palestinians are Semites.
That's right.
So let's make the correction. He's right about he's almost right. There's no biblical character named Sem. There is no Semites. It's something that they made up. All right. The man's name was Shem. All right, and it's not just and the Israelis are indeed Shemites. That part is true. The Palestinians are indeed Shemites, and there are Israelites among both. You know, you got a lot of people that's going to have a hard time with that. But there are 6 other Shemitic nations, so it's not Sem. That word was made up so that they can control and create a false narrative. All right, because you got Ashur, you got Ammon, Moab, you know, and then you have the Israelites. All of them are Shemitic, but there's only one line of Abraham that's actually the chosen. All right, and that will be the Israelites, and the Israelites primarily make up the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And there's too much evidence to even begin to fix your lips to try to speak against that. All right, and then plus the scattered that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen that look like those heathen. All right, that's that Revelation, the 7th chapter and the 9th verse. That's that multitude. That mixed multitude are the ones that the Lord is going to gather up that have been scattered. Okay? It's as simple as that. It's not difficult at all. Right? So it's shameful spewing upon their glory. So let's go to the next video about with Low Key here. The rapper Low Key, which my girl Ali, one of my former clients, she is actually Palestinian. I believe she's a Jake though. She turned me on to Low Key years ago. What do you call them things? The little Apple thing that has all the music on it. That they had a tidy one, the Sidekick, Apple Sidekick. She gave me one of those, and it had a lot of Low Key on it. And he was a political rapper, so they didn't like Low Key at all. And he actually had a decent flow too. He's not bad. He's one of the more intelligent rappers. He's like the Palestinian Common. All right. And Common raw as hell for anybody who want to, speak against him. That dude, Common had a raw flow, man. But here we go.
With some of the geopolitical intersections flowing from the ongoing genocide in Gaza, and we are very, very honored to be joined here on the show once again by the musician and journalist Low Key. Low Key, as always, thanks so much for being on with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I always enjoy coming on the show. Thanks.
Well, we really enjoy having you here. And I wanted to start with an issue that's been a big one in sort of the mainstream media. And I know that you have also been sort of caught in the intersections of this. And that is this idea that the online conversation, especially social media around the war in Gaza, is somehow being driven by Russia or China or whoever it may be, that there's sort of fake inflation of accounts and so on and so forth. So I wanted to ask you, about that specifically. I mean, what do you think about it? And what's behind, or who's behind these sorts of accusations that are really flying all around the mainstream media?
Essentially, there is a form of shadow war playing out whereby Israel is very keenly aware that Iran is growing closer to China and Russia by the day. And that is really illustrated clearly in the Iranian operation Wa'ad al-Sabre.
And see, they don't want Iran to grow closer to Russia and China. Yeah, the same way that China does not want Taiwan to grow closer to the Western powers. The Western powers understand that Taiwan is a place that they need in order for them to stay in power, which is why, and with everything that's going on, they can't afford to they won't be able to afford to defend Israel and Taiwan. They're not going to be able to do it. They're spread too thin. Okay?
The truthful promise, the operation striking Israel with ballistic missiles and drones in an unprecedented way, it actually took place using the missile guiding systems from both Russia and China. Beidou is a Chinese company and GLONASS is a Russian company. They were used to fulfill that. So therefore, it couldn't have taken place without a green light, most likely from either China or Russia. When we look at actually the behavior of Russia vis-a-vis Gaza is quite interesting, because the Israelis were arming with small arms, the Azov battalion in Ukraine, as was.
And see, this is what brings into question everything about the Israelis, especially when they start screaming about, the H word, the situation that happened in in World War II. Azov battalion are Nazis, yet they're being funded by the Israelis. And the Israelis have been supporting them and funding them, and giving them small arms. Make it make sense. And the truth of the matter is, they're the same people. They're the same people. Just like, going back to World War II. They're the same people. Just because you converted to a religion does not make you not the same people. All right? So all these lies are coming, it's propaganda, because you got two types of wars, three actually. All right? Propaganda, which is, the defaming and lies to try to get support to your cause. All right? Then you have the currency wars. Propaganda wars and currency wars always lead to physical wars, which is the third part, when bullets and missiles actually start flying. All right. So, and now, this modern age, propaganda is needed to actually try to sway the citizens and the people. But here's the problem with modern day technology: people can do their own research. All right, which is funny. When I was a kid, when I was in school, we were always taught to look up things, and now they don't teach you to think that way. Don't go look up and read information for yourself. No, you just gonna, whatever we tell you, that's what it is, and that's what they want you to do. They don't want you to actually go and learn on your own. So what's the purpose of learning how to read, write, and do arithmetic? If you can't use your math to put 2 and 2 together, if you can't use your reading comprehension skills to go and read and find out what's actually going on for yourself. And now all of a sudden that's a bad thing, or you shouldn't get your information from old books in the internet. When you're looking up information that's on the internet that's actually coming from old historical books that are solid books with solid information that actually line up with secular history. Now all of a sudden it becomes a problem, or becomes theory. What is the whole critical race theory? They create words to try to trap people into a mindset. You can't make actual history from the past theory. You can't tell someone that they're teaching critical race theory when they're actually teaching critical race history. Why? Because shameful spewing is upon their glory. See, that's the problem, is that these people who bragged about the murder, about the having a boot on your neck, about having you in slavery, making you build their nation for free, because that's exactly what happened, while stealing the land from your other brothers and sisters, all right, and then having you build it up for free. And now, at this day and age, having the Northern Kingdom maintain it. Bringing the Northern Kingdom in that didn't grow up here in America to maintain it. That is the goal, replacement. All right, so they stole it from my people, brought in the Southern Kingdom to build it up for free, and now they're bringing in more members of the Northern Kingdom to maintain it, canceling out the first two, trying to put them all against each other. This man is a slick devil, man. But he's caught, he's exposed. All right? That shameful spewing upon his glory. And how he do it? Through injuries, man. Through deceit. Let's get that. He caused grievous injuries while doing these things. Death, murder, rape, robbery, the stealing of land, the stealing of heritages. All right? Ecclesiastes 10:8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Right? That is how these people got control over the earth. Through that very technique, through injuries, all right, and deceit. Rape, robbery, and murder, colonial genocide, occupation of things that are not theirs. Then label you with the T word if you try to defend your homeland or defend your people or keep your heritage. All right. So let's go to this next video with Danny Hafong.
Biggest military drills, its biggest military operation surrounding Taiwan since the provocations of the United States and, of course, of Taiwan separatists have reached a fever pitch over the last several years. Operation Joint Sword 2024 is what it is called. And here is the New York Times. I'm just going to show you.
So as you heard, it's not Operation Double Sword, it's Operation Joint Sword.
The various perspectives on this. You have the New York Times talking about China launching military drills around Taiwan as punishment. China said the sea and air drills were meant as a stern warning to its opponents after Taiwan's new president asserted the island's sovereignty in defiance of Beijing. So here is just a quick photo. This is actually all accurate. So normally I'm like, oh, well, they're talking about punishment. That's an exaggeration, or maybe they're even taking that completely out of context or lying altogether. No, China is directly saying this is punishment to the separatists and, of course, their backers in the U.S. for their ultimate so-called defiance. But really, all it is provocations toward war, toward a red line that China will not allow to be crossed. So here you have the current exercise area everywhere. This was the big controversy, was that the operations also include the islands of Matsu, Kinmen, Wuchu islands, because those islands are not only under so-called Taiwan Authority jurisdiction, but in the case of Kinmen, there are literally Green Beret forces training on them. So you have these islands also being surrounded by Chinese military installations by air, by ship. So
damn.
Here is the photo of essentially what they're doing is blockading the
So let me just take that back. They're blockading
photo of,
and they're doing these military drills, and as you can see, look, Taiwan can't defend themselves against this, and America can't really do anything to stop it. So because if they go over there, now you're fighting wars on multiple. So you got this fight here, the fight in Ukraine, and then you got this issue in Israel, which is basically going to draw the whole world in. It's like I said, now you got it's embarrassing that Benjamin Netanyahu is being declared a criminal. All right, he's being declared a criminal. You got to remember there were uprising in his own country against him before this war started. So it's like it's like then the evidence is that he was aware of October 7th. All right, so was October 7th, that basically an excuse for him to do what he's doing, to get the heat off of him because he was in trouble legally already in this country. So you best believe he has to push forward, because if this war stops for any reason against Gaza, he's going to be pulled back into the courts. And now even worse, he's going to be pulled into the international courts. So he needs this war to keep going. So you best believe he's not going to stop. And he's going to draw, and then they said that, like it tells you, that the least of the flock shall draw them out. This man is going to cause the West to be pulled into this third world war where they're going to be annihilated. It's prophecy, and that time is among us. So that means that things are there's getting ready to be a lot more disease, a lot more famine, a lot more destruction, a lot more violence, and a lot more oppression, even here in Babylon, as a result of all this. All right, and it's going to eventually lead up to, the annihilation of this place when everyone sends their arrows, here to Babylon. This is Jeremiah 51:33, and it reads, "For thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the power of Israel, the daughter of Babylon, is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her. Yet a little while, and a time of her harvest shall come." Man, this thing is about to crack. All right, threshing floor is basically, that's like the kill zone. In the military, in the Marine Corps and the Army, they talk about a kill zone. The kill zone is where you lure your enemy in so that they can be hit with crossfire, so that no one can leave that kill zone. Only way out of it is in a body bag. All right, so with that, we give all praises, all honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kwadash, Kwam Yasharala Shalom, Abba Babal.